We will have the precious opportunity to hear one of the unique voices of this history in Conversations with Dorothy I. Height.
If I take a finger and tap you, you may not feel it. If I use two, you'll know that you've been touched. But if I bring all those fingers together into a fist, I can give a mighty blow. And it's that, her hand, her fist, long before I heard of Stokely Carmichael or he was born, her fist was the first time I'd seen a person use the hand as a symbol of unity and of power.
Good afternoon. I'm Julian Bond, and I'd like to welcome you to Shades of American History. I'll be your moderator for today's program. This is the first in a series of live interactive teleconferences produced by the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation and the Black College Satellite Network. Today's broadcast is being funded by the IBM Corporation. We are broadcasting to you live from the campus of Bowie State University in Bowie, Maryland, located right outside our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. We have a group of panelists both here and coming to us live via satellite from Colonial Williamsburg in Williamsburg, Virginia. Hello, Williamsburg. Our distinguished groups of panelists, whom you'll meet later, will provide their expertise and experience in teaching our multicultural society.
I remember reading a book called The People's History of the United States, and it talked about how there were a certain amount of Native Americans in the country that Christopher Columbus originally landed in, and like 40, 50 years later, they were all gone. There were no Native Americans, and it was as a direct result of some of the things that Christopher Columbus did. Why don't we hear about these things or anything about them in history books?
Mr. Cortez, let me put this question to you. You're the history teacher on the Williamsburg panel. How much responsibility do multiculturalists have to tell the bad news from the past as well as some of the good news?
Oh, go back to the answer.
Oh, go back to the...
It was the question of multivocality, learning the different dimension of the story. But I think it's an important thing here. The young man just asked a question. I wanted to give an answer. I think one of the critical things that multicultural approach to the teaching of history should do is to disabuse people of the idea that there are two sides to anything. In any story, there are multiple voices, and one of the key issues of multiculturalism is help students to break out of this one side or the other, good, bad, two sides to every issue. And if we can get students to then see a broad view in which includes some of the positive as well as the negative, and to balance and weigh these in making their judgment, then we have succeeded.
I think there's also another goal that is important. I keep thinking about Los Angeles, April 29th, 1992, and those powerful images being beamed out of LA. And I think one of the most powerful images that came out of LA was the face of Rodney King and his trembling words, "We can get along, we can work it out." But as an educator, I had to ask the question, how do we get along? How do we work it out unless we learn more about one another?
As you may have heard over the course of the last day and a half, there is a meeting being convened here of African American leadership under the auspices of the NAACP, and what we would like to do is look at this town meeting as your opportunity to talk to the leadership, get an earful of what they've been discussing over the last day and a half, and hopefully what they will be moving to help empower the African American community.
The minister's message and say Kwaisa's message. On the one hand, minister saying, since we know it's a trap, don't take the drugs. I mean, stop self-destructive behavior. On the other hand, pass laws that afford us equal protection under the law. So it's a both-and message.
How is it that so many people in Detroit have allowed so many other nationalities, such as Chaldeans and Arabics and whites, to come in, open up a business, not hire enough blacks within the community? They're here making the money off of us. yet there aren't any blacks in our neighborhood working. And I can't understand how this is allowed to continue, how blacks haven't boycotted these various stores, how we're just going in here purchasing items from these people and they're making all this money off of us. No one is doing anything about it.
Let's let them have a quick opportunity to address that.
No question about it. We must not only develop African-American-owned businesses, but we must support those businesses once they're developed. We must train, we must recapture an entrepreneurial spirit that used to be in our community.
Live from Franklin Institute in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's the Satellite Field Trip, Greenhouse Earth.
Greenhouse Earth, a satellite field trip. Now, my name is Derek Pitts, and I'll be your host for this program in which we'll take a look at a very important and serious issue that many of you know about already, and that's global warming.
Okay, we're back at Greenhouse Earth and talking a little bit more about the Earth's environment. My name's Mike, and you may wonder why I look like I'm being stalked by the predator. Well, you're seeing me through an infrared camera that shows the hot parts of me as being red or white, and the colder parts of me as being darker colors. Heat is the problem when we're talking about the greenhouse effect. We're going to go now to the changes in the air area where Nakia will tell us a little bit more. Nakia?
If the Earth were an apple, its atmosphere would be thinner than its skin. That's pretty amazing if you think about it. Keeping this in mind will help you understand just how fragile our planet's atmosphere is and how we must take care of it. There are many parts to the Earth's atmosphere. As you can see, they are listed on the graphic behind me. Now, if we start at the top, we see the ionosphere, which starts at about 53 miles above the Earth's atmosphere. This next is the stratosphere. This is where the ozone layer is found. The troposphere is the closest to the Earth's surface and is about 9 miles high. This is where all weather occurs: clouds, rain, storms, and so on. This is also where greenhouse gases trap the most heat and warms the surface below. So this is what we're concerned about: the buildup of greenhouse gases right here in the troposphere.
We are broadcasting to you live from Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Armory. Some of you may have already seen the circus or are planning to go this year. This is just one of the stops on our many-city tour. Joining us in the studio are students from Keene Elementary School. Give yourselves a hand. That's them. Okay. How long does it take you to put your makeup on?
It takes me anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to apply the makeup.
Unbelievable.
Seems like an interesting place to visit.
It sure is. Why don't we go to Latoya and Tamika inside the Capitol?
Hello, my name is Latoya Outlaw and I attend Old Elementary School in Washington, D.C. I am in the 2nd grade and I am reporting from the Old Senate Chamber.
What does a congressman do?
Well, Congressman is someone who's very busy. We spend half our time back in the home, in my case in Philadelphia, trying to help people who have problems with the federal government. The other half of the time we spend here in Washington, D.C., voting on important legislation that affects all Americans and, in fact, people in the whole world.
Some of the things we've learned about the White House.
What president did not live in the White House? A. Abraham Lincoln,
B. George Washington, C. John F. Kennedy. The answer is B. George Washington.
How many tens do you see? 1, 2. How many ones do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tell us the numeral represented. 25.
Which one shows the most?
Yellow.
Yellow. Very good. Let's see if you were correct. Excellent.
We have a set of 10 boys and 9 girls in a classroom. How many children are there, Randy?
There are 10 boys and 9 girls. There are 19 children altogether.
Very good, Randy. Very, very good. Thank you so much for calling in. I can tell that you learned a lot today.
What does it feel like?
Soft.
It's soft.
It feels.
It's soft. Yes.
It feels like some plastic rubbing together.
Ooh. Plastic rubbing together.
Thank you, Josh. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Krantz, and today we're in Bladensburg, Maryland, looking for dinosaurs. Maya, looks like you found some things here. Look, I have a piece of shell Maya's found, and this is very interesting. This is a tooth from an extinct shark. Notice the tooth is black and not white. That's because it's been in the ground for a long time. It would look the same color as this crocodile tooth when we found it. And down here is a little pine cone, also a fossil. So these items, this is a piece of dinosaur bone from the larger screen. These items are the kinds of things that we would find on the smaller screen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to sit back and relax and get ready for an afternoon of Black College football brought to you by the Black College Satellite Network. And now, Livingstone College, Johnson C. Smith University in the 100th anniversary of Black College football. The Johnson C. Smith University Golden Bulls have traveled the 40 miles north to Salisbury, where 100 years ago they traveled 40 miles in a horse-drawn wagon. But that rivalry, the 5-0 victory for the Golden Bulls, is now being contested this afternoon by the Livingstone College Fighting Bears, who will be seeking revenge. let's go down to the field to Tim Charles, who has a very special guest.
Well, this is an important game because of what it signifies. 100 years of black college football. The NCAA is very aware of the major role that black colleges have had in intercollegiate athletics, and that's why we're here today.
There's Tate barking out the signals. Fakes a handoff, and wide open in the end zone.
Throw the ball.
Touchdown, Johnson T. Smith, Gregory Clifton, and what a play by quarterback Wesley Tate, who fooled the entire Livingstone defense. Now we have a replay coming up with this big fumble that set up the Johnson C. Smith University. Touchdown, attempting to return the kick. He bobbles. Ray Felton bobbles the ball here, not able to control it, and the Smith defense is down and all over the ball, and very quickly picked up by big number 41, Darren Webb, to set up the Smith Golden Bull touchdown.
When planning that special evening, include C&M Motor Coach and plan with style. Our Stretch Lincoln Town limousines will add that extra distinction and elegance to almost any occasion. These limousines are fully loaded with AM/FM Dolby Stereo cassette, television, VCR, video library, moonroof, an armed bodyguard, and that personalized service just for you. Unparalleled, unmatched, and undeniably the best limousine service. When stepping out on the town, step into a C&M Motor Coach.